Middle class is the most dangerous place to be in Africa. Not poverty, not wealth, the middle. Too comfortable to struggle, too broke to be free. And before you get offended, hear me out. Because most people think poverty is the enemy. It isn't. The real danger is comfort. Comfort is what keeps people stuck for decades while convincing them they're making progress. Think about it. The poor know they're in trouble. There is no illusion, no safety net, no false sense of security. The pressure is obvious. But the middle class, that's where things get dangerous. You earn enough to survive, enough to pay rent, enough to buy data, enough to eat, enough to tell yourself everything is okay, but not enough to build real freedom. One hospital bill, one rent increase, one job loss, one family emergency, and the entire structure starts shaking. That is not stability. That is pressure disguised as comfort. The middle class trap looks responsible. Wake up, go to work, earn your salary. Repeat. It feels safe. It feels mature. It feels like you're doing everything right. But look closer. Your income is fixed, your expenses are not. Fuel rises, food rises, school fees rise, electricity rises, everything rises, except you. So what happens? You adjust, you cut corners, you postpone plans, you reduce dreams, you manage, you survive. And because you're surviving better than yesterday, you call it progress. But surviving is not the same thing as growing. And that's where most people get trapped. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. Problems don't come into your life to destroy you. Problems come into your life to reveal you. Every challenge asks a question. Will you use this to grow, or will you allow it to bury you? Because your future is often decided by how you respond to pressure. The same problem can create two completely different outcomes. One person becomes bitter, another becomes stronger. One person quits, another adapts. One person complains, another builds. The difference is rarely the problem. The difference is the response. Look at Yan Koum. He grew up in poverty. His family struggled financially. At one point, they relied on government assistance just to survive. Life gave him every reason to stay stuck, every reason to blame his circumstances, every reason to quit, but he didn't. He learned, adapted, built valuable skills, kept moving. Years later, he co-founded WhatsApp, a company that would eventually be acquired for billions of dollars. Now think about that. The same poverty that could have broken him became part of the story that built him. And that's why poverty can sometimes be a blessing in disguise. Not because poverty is enjoyable, not because suffering is something to celebrate, but because struggle creates hunger, and hunger creates movement. When you have nothing, you're forced to think differently, forced to adapt, forced to learn, forced to grow. You're searching for opportunities because standing still is painful. You can't afford complacency, you can't afford excuses, you can't afford comfort. The middle class often loses that urgency, not because they're lazy, because they're comfortable. Comfortable enough to delay action, comfortable enough to postpone growth, comfortable enough to keep telling themselves they'll start tomorrow. I'll learn that skill later. I'll start that business next year. I'll take that risk when the timing is right. But the timing is never right. And while you're waiting, life keeps moving. Years pass. Nothing changes. And the dangerous part? You don't even notice. Because your life still looks decent from the outside. New phone, better clothes, small vacations, weekend enjoyment, small upgrades. Just enough comfort to distract you from the fact that you're still dependent on one source of income. And dependency is not freedom. If one salary pays for your entire life, you're not secure, you're exposed, you just haven't discovered it yet. Let's go even deeper. Many middle-class decisions are driven by perception. What will people say? So people buy things they can't afford, maintain lifestyles they can't sustain, upgrade expenses without upgrading income, and then spend years working to protect an image, working to impress people who aren't paying their bills. Meanwhile, someone else is making uncomfortable decisions, learning sales, learning marketing, learning AI, learning a trade, starting a small business, looking foolish, making mistakes, failing publicly, but growing. While everyone else is maintaining, one person is building, the other is preserving, and builders eventually pass preservers every single time. This is why your biggest enemy may not be poverty. It may be comfort, because poverty announces itself. Comfort disguises itself. Poverty says, you have a problem. Comfort says, relax, everything is fine, even when it isn't. So understand this. If you're middle class right now, don't get angry, get alert. Use your current position as a platform, not a destination. Build skills, increase your income, income, create assets, create options, because pressure is coming. It comes for everybody. The question is, when it arrives, will your comfort protect you or will it expose you? Because it's easy to feel secure when everything is working. When the salary enters, when the bills are manageable, when nobody is sick, when nothing unexpected happens. But what happens when life sends the bill? What happens when rent doubles? What happens when the company downsizes? What happens when a medical emergency appears out of nowhere? What happens when the income stops, but the expenses don't? That's when you'll discover whether you were actually comfortable or simply vulnerable. That's when you'll find out whether you've built freedom or just built a lifestyle. Because many people aren't one disaster away from poverty. They're already there. They're just one missed paycheck away from discovering it. So be honest, are you really progressing or are you just surviving with better packaging? Too comfortable to struggle, too broke to be free. If this offended you, good. Now subscribe, exceptional being, because the truth isn't supposed to be comfortable.